If you're a publisher and you mainly rely on standard display banners for your ad business, you might not be in a great growth position right now. Your buyers are looking to get as much attention as possible. And to do that, they're mainly using new ad formats. In this video, I'll get through a few formats that are not intrusive for your users, but at the same time will help your buyers get that extra attention they need. I'll cover 3 of them: video, rich media native, and sticky ads. There's essentially 3 types of video you can use: in-stream, in-feed, and in-banner. The first one is in-stream and is actually the easiest one, because within an in-stream environment, you already have a player that's here to render your production. And at the same time, this player is also able to render ad formats. So in this case, we can add pre-bid competition within your in-stream inventory, but this still requires to make sure that everything is working exactly as it's supposed to do with your own player. At Advisor, for example, we've already tried and experimented with most players in the market, and we know that the solution can work exactly as it's supposed to do within any player you might be using. For in-stream, we've actually tried several configurations: client-side ad requests or server-side ad requests that go from the streaming platform, from the player to the different bidders, and those can be triggered before the player or after the player. We also make sure that all the different declarations that the publisher needs to send within the bid request are perfectly aligned with the inventory so that the buyers know beforehand what they are buying. Now, the trickiest part is in-feed and in-banner, because you don't already have a player within those placements. So how do we render those video creative? Again, at Advisor, we've developed a specific player to do that that's validated by most SSPs that we work with. And this player is also useful for us within any new formats that the publishers might be working with. For example, if you have sticky inventory, then we can add the player within those so we can accept video ads within those placements. So the magic question, of course, is what's the incremental value? With CMI in France, our in-stream pre-bid integration have shown 25% incremental value over the open auction revenue of the publisher, which is quite interesting. But it's even more impactful for outstream placements, in-feed and in-banner. On those, we oftentimes double the RPMs of the publishers by just taking the same ad placements, but instead of having only static environments, we add up video. So quite a smart way to increase your business, allow buyers to get the formats that they want to buy, but at the same time, avoid to add new formats and destroy your user experience. Rich media and native. Well, publishers can be very creative when it comes to rich media. Of course, you have the usual suspects, interstitials, parallax, but you might have some new idea. And we work with publishers outside of Europe that have other formats that we have ever thought of in Europe that are quite interesting. So whenever you implement a new creative idea, think about the way you can use those ideas within the programmatic ecosystem. It's not always easy, but with a little bit of research and development, we can make that work for any buyers across the world. Again, the idea is to increase competition density within those placements instead of proposing them only to direct sales, which is very good. But if you ever have some unfilled inventory, it's always nice to fill those. A lot of buyers are using native ad formats, and you want to accept those wherever you can place them. So think about it. You can have one placement, accept standard display banners, video, in-banner, or native, or other kind of formats. And that makes the same placement way more profitable, way more useful for your buyers without, again, destroying your user experience. The sticky banners are specific because they need to appear on top of your web page without being on top of your content, without the content being on top of those sticky ad placements. So it's not always easy to do those on programmatic. Same thing, we always take the time and the research with every publisher to build out custom templates so that we make sure those sticky placements work perfectly. They can be on top of your website, they can be on the bottom of your website, they can be on the side of your website, they can be used on mobile, on desktop. Bottom line is you have just one placement, but you maximize the viewability and the attention for your buyers so that instead of having 2 placements that have very low viewability score, you have just one placement, but that placement gives the brand so much more awareness. And I believe even if it's very difficult, Premium publishers should always look to minimize the ad space on their website, but yet maximize the ad intention for their buyers. Bottom line is, add up as much competition as possible within the same placement that you have. Use video as a way to add more value to your inventory for the buyers you're working with, and try to find new creative ideas that you can use on programmatic. Remember, programmatic is just a way of transaction, but it's up to you, the publisher and the buyer, to use them with as much creativity and format as possible. I hope it was useful. I'll see you in the next one.